Welcome, everyone. It's Versus on the Monday. Lots to talk about. Acolyte, episode 6. The Sith is sexy. The Sith has a Me Too moment in Star Wars, and it's for kids. We've got an all-star lineup of people joining us today. So strap in, get ready, and let's go. Go. Hey everyone, how's it going? Let's have everybody introduce themselves, and I'll put you full screen. Let's go.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Verbal Riot, ready to talk about horny Star Wars.
Hey, Robert Meyer Burnett, and like Verbal, I'm always talking about something that's horny, whether it's Star Wars or not. So, good to be here.
Angry Badger, ready to get into this? I'm their Beardo, except I know how to read. Let's go.
Hello, I'm Nerd Cookies. You can find me here on YouTube at Nerd Cookies with 2 channels. You can find me with doing sci-fi and fantasy news and lore, and also on Nerd Cookies Daily, where you can hear me raw and unfiltered and spicy takes there as well. So yeah, looking forward to the conversation. There's a lot to talk about.
Hey, I'm the script doctor. Not only do I know how to read, I can do something the showrunners can't. I can actually write.
I'm Alan Ng, and I'm excited. Next week, I'll be streaming live off of new MacBook Pro. Chris, thanks for the hookup.
What? What are you? Okay, I'll address the elephant in the room.
I gave my bank information too, because I don't know what you needed that, but I gave that too.
It's such a good deal, Chris.
Introduce yourself, Paul.
My name is Paul Chatto. Let's see now. What else can I say? Yes, I have a channel called Call Me Chatto, and I had no idea that one day I would become a YouTube star, but here I am. And so thankful that I'm here on Versus.
Okay.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Yeah. Okay, so let's address the elephant in the room. I was hacked. This happened yesterday after. And by the way, I have so many social media accounts, not just personal, but for projects. So I have a lot of emails. I have never once in my life ever been hacked at all, ever. So when this happened, it was embarrassing. And I don't care about me whenever I get hacked. I care if somebody got sucked in by the hack, and that did happen. One guy, I noticed, I went through all my DMs after I finally got logged back in, and I did notice one person sent money. So I reached out to them to see if I can help them out. And
I didn't do that.
But I did post this photo as proof that I'm
that
back.
wasn't a hacker either.
So, sorry, Dante. I know I said I shouldn't post this, but you don't look bad. You got nothing to worry about.
I'm just saying, man, look, we're past Pride Month here. We don't need to be putting this out in the universe right now.
Every month is Pride Month, bigot.
Ollie from Latino Slant is in there. Dante and I, we were at a pool party on Saturday. We watched Jaws, which was so much fun.
Nice.
But, that was really a lot of fun. So, but yes, I am back, and my apologies. And I'm DMing people, and hopefully that was only one guy got
From which account got hacked? Your ex account?
My personal account, that Chris Gore.
And how did what they do? Guess your password?
No, they sent me a link that looked like I was getting logged in, and I was like, "Oh, we'll change my password." Yeah. I documented the whole thing. I know what happened, but it was I didn't realize it until like 10 minutes after I did it. Like
most hacking is social engineering.
Right.
Hollywood has this idea where some smart person sits down at a computer terminal and starts, guessing passwords and things like that. No, it's social engineering.
No.
It's not that interesting.
Oh, but not live hacking. You send a program, it does something for you, and then you walk away.
Yeah, pretty much.
Couple couple quick things before we get started. Another thirst trap pick. Alan and I, San Diego Comic-Con. Alan, you wanted me to show this.
Yes, I did.
This
And-
is our
and-
whole schedule.
And weirdly, I got my package correct in size. So,
So we are doing that. Also, we have a special. If you see the shirt that I'm wearing now, I am wearing our a funeral for a franchise shirt. They are available at the Film Threat shop. Go to shop.filmthreat.com. You can also get a mug. There is an offer code. Star Wars is Dead for 15% off. And you can get the very shirt that I am wearing right now, right here.
Modeling.
So get your 15% off in the Film Threat shop. There you go. And then a reminder, last thing, just housekeeping here. We're doing housekeeping. Our big event is next week, next Wednesday. Funeral for a Franchise. It's a global fan event. You can tweet out your video of your eulogy for Star Wars. We will show them on the show. Everyone on this live stream is invited to participate. It is formal attire. Alan and I will be dressed as priests. We will be listening to your eulogies and your confessions, and we will celebrate. It's a celebration of life, of Star Wars. A life day, as it were. But let's take a look at a real quick teaser that we are releasing later today. It's going to be a very somber event.
Very somber.
A little solemn tear came down.
Yeah, very somber. So I hope you'll join us. All right, all the business is out of the way. Let's say hi to some people here. A couple of things right here. There you go, Badger.
Oh, duh. Lod for 689. May the Sith be with you and your MacBook sales, Chris. Sorry, I was staring at Dante in that new cut. It's really becoming. No homo. Well, slightly homo.
Yeah, the fro needed to go. So
yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, it's getting hot. Jedi Ben for 199. First Disney tried to Clinton you, now bankrupt you.
Oh, there you go.
It's the Alex Jones treatment. Lord Thoth. Hail everyone, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, sign up as a member, join us on Discord and Rumble, buy our merch.
All right, that's it. Let's get into it now. Everyone's impression. I know you've talked about it on other streams. We have like specific articles to go over. Alan has them ready to go. But everyone, let me know what you think of episode 6. My impression was, what is sex, this level of sex, doing in this franchise? I mean, everything has been, to me, very fairy tale, right? Luke and Leia had some interest. Han, like, there's a little, love trio. It was very innocent, very fairy tale for children, but I didn't expect to see implied nudity, some really overt sexual innuendo. I mean, it was not subtle in the least. And a Sith who had just killed a bunch of people is now trying to seduce Osha and she's interested.
He's a bad boy.
What is this doing in my franchise? It's awful.
Well, the question is, who is this for? Like, right. I don't know who this is for, man.
Did you watch Andor? Because Andor is supposed to be for adults.
Right. But it's clearly for adults, right?
Right.
This, I don't know who this is for.
It's for the ladies. Elaine.
I mean,
tell her.
yeah. Why does Disney Star Wars not know how to do romance? Like, I feel like Raylo, walked so Qimir could run, or whatever this is. It's just perverse. It's just these problematic, toxic relationships, and I don't know who this is for, because women like, I think for the most part, traditional romances. I mean, that's like Bridgerton is like at the top of the streaming charts every week. That's what women want, apparently.
But whenever we bring up criticism of the show, right, we always they always throw the it's for kids. Why are you criticizing a kids show, right? They love to say that it's for kids whenever we have valid criticisms of Star Wars, right? But was that last episode for kids?
Leslie said she read the fanfic of the people shipping them, and she read them, and she's behind it. She leaned
Of course she is.
Yeah, she's not going to deny any of that. There's two things that are not supposed to be in Star Wars: sex and underwear.
Bingo.
No bras in space.
And
we have a
in
journal
both in Andor and now essentially in Acolyte, we're getting both. It's weird. I'm kind of surprised that
And yoga pants. Sorry,
and yoga pants.
And yoga pants.
I am slightly surprised that Leslie Headland decided to make at least one of the twins appear to be heterosexual, because again, she showed interest
both,
in.
because she's very clearly acknowledged to be into it with Jackie before that ended, and even said like, "Oh, that wouldn't have worked out well." So she's clearly going both. But either way, yeah, I was shocked that she would allow her to have any sort of heteronormative relationship, even teasing it.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's an Asian guy in cold water, and she was still impressed. So,
Right.
That's why she looked down.
I was waiting for Alan to say that actually.
Well, I'm
but-
just saying it can only shrink so much.
I really got to watch my mouth,
email,
man.
quick
There's
email,
there's so many words going through my head right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But clearly,
you guys aren't going to bait me.
a major point was to show the scar on his back so that everyone can say it looks like a lightsaber thing and think it's Vanestro, the green one. That was a major part. And also
in a different scene, they don't do that when he's in the pool. They do that when he's working on his helmet there.
If only they had hired you to do that, but they didn't. They went this route. And the other part is, he's trying to seduce her. Sith would do that. They get you to play on your passions. I don't have a problem with that part. But yeah, the key thing is, like Dante said, who is this for? I don't think you can say this is for kids. This is in the same vein as an Andor.
And look,
if
if it was just a guy she was interested in, I'd be like, okay, whatever, there's a little sex appeal involved in here. That's fine. My thing is, he just killed your friends, killed them right in front of you, and now you're horny for him.
Yeah, but that's a woman. That turns her on.
How are we
He's
supposed to
powerful.
respect
Ooh,
her?
I want that. And
I don't know,
now what
nerd
you're gonna do-
cookies. Maybe I'm off here. So if a guy murdered your friends, would you be hot for him after that?
No, that's what I'm saying. They can't. Who is rooting for the main protagonist here, which is Osha? I neither like nor respect her, especially after this. When, I mean, she knew Yord since they were kids, and it seemed that she was having this budding friendship, at least with Jackie. So she cared about at least them, and she brought them up like 20 minutes into the episode. Like, her first inclination should be to get off the planet, or if she's going to confront him, I guess take his weapon maybe and try to kill him, or just run away to disarm him. But yeah, there's no way that I can respect you. Like, even Padme, when Anakin fell to the dark side, she recognized you're going down a path I can't follow, and that's why she remains the hero, the protagonist. And
Osha said, "I'm not so
there's-
easily corrupted." As in, work harder.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're almost there. You're almost
harder.
there.
Yeah.
This is a perverse relationship. I don't know who this is for, but it's just icky vibes is what I get.
And I mentioned that someone sent me a video clip, 30 minutes long. I didn't watch all of it, of a woman talking for 30 minutes, how this is a fabulous thirst trap. And she loved it. She loved watching Manny half naked. That was 30 minutes of her just going crazy over the whole scene.
That reminds me of the women that were all hot and bothered way back during Kevin Costner doing Prince of Thieves, where he has that shower or the swimming scene, and you get to see his butt, and they're all like, "Ooh, we get to see Kevin Costner's butt." Oh,
just go back to the sequel trilogy.
So
Swallow Rin, him with his shirt off.
I'm just saying that there are women who are enjoying this. That's all I'm saying.
No, that's a fair point. It's just that number is very small when you look at the ratings, apparently.
But there are weird levels to this, man, because okay, for the most part, the villain is probably the only masculine male character in the show, right? For the most part.
Finestra's pretty
and it's funny that the villain is the one projecting masculinity, right? But at the same time, Osha is attracted to his masculinity because it's toxic as hell, right? It's a weird thing that they're putting out here right now, and I don't understand it.
I understand what he's doing. He's saying, I didn't kill your friends, I killed Jedi. You were lied to your whole life. All I want is freedom. You don't hate freedom, do you? And he's a bad boy with a heart of gold, right? What do you think they tried? It's horrible, and that's exactly what Swolo was. That's exactly what Kylo and Rey was. He's misunderstood. It's misunderstood.
He could be fixed.
What I don't understand about this show, and I guess I don't understand this about the Sith. If you're a Sith Lord, why are you engaging these people at all?
Right.
Why are you even bothering with the Jedi? You could be. Do you have to hang out around Coruscant by the Jedi Temple? I don't think
he's a Sith. That's the big thing.
Yeah, or he's the acolyte.
He got kicked out. But I don't know why.
But it's like these people. There's the problem that I have with this whole show is there's a gigantic universe out there.
Yeah,
right.
And you could be a Sith Lord, or you could be an acolyte. You could do whatever you want, and not ever come in contact with these people.
So why not do what the original Dark Jedi that were cast out do? Go find a backwards world in the unknown regions and just take everything over and build your own empire.
I don't understand why there's a conflict in this show at all.
Well, because then we wouldn't have unfortunately.
I understand. I get that, but
they could have done it better.
You have to convince me. Like, I still don't know. In Star Wars, Empire, and Jedi, it was fine. But as the Star Wars lore has expanded, no one has really explained, other than the Sith, they give into their passions. What's wrong with that? Like, I still don't understand. Like, Palpatine was a power-hungry dick. I get it, and his ilk was not so great. But who's to say you couldn't have someone who's a Sith adept run the galaxy and make it a great place?
Right.
I'm watching this show, and we're supposed to be delving into what the meaning behind all of this is. And I don't think they've done that at all.
Oh, no, nothing. I mean, the Sith could be running a B&B.
No, but your point's well
running
taken.
A prison and punishing evildoers, and it would still work.
I just don't understand what this
the
story.
Ultimate point is they want to be right and they want revenge because they were cast out for using the dark side, so they want to come back. That's the ultimate overall.
I get all that, but who cares? Yeah. They can do anything they want. They want revenge. The Jedi, they could run the galaxy and the Jedi wouldn't even know. They start a
the galaxy is huge.
Criminal. And they act like everybody lives in the same town.
And the witch's planet is now vacated. They could have gone there.
Anywhere. I mean, and I don't get a sense that this is one of my problems with this all of Disney Star Wars. Yeah. Like Paul was saying earlier. They act like whatever's going on, whatever track that we're watching, that's the only thing happening in the universe. And Paul was speaking about this before he went on.
Yeah.
I don't understand why anybody's in conflict with anybody. Why announce what you're trying to do? Why not go off and do what you're doing? Why bother calling attention to yourself? And that's part of the reason that this show drives me bananas. I don't believe any of it. I don't believe if you were the Sith, you would even be dealing with these idiots. Because they clearly are wandering around the universe pretty much clueless. And you could go anywhere and do anything. You could start an entire empire. Yep. And right underneath, you could go to the other side of Coruscant where the Jedi Temple isn't. Like go to the other side of the world. And you could have you could do whatever you want. And the Jedi wouldn't even know what you were doing.
Or you could go to a different Equinox gym where he was getting in the jacuzzi.
Yeah.
Look,
they're going to put that gym bag up for sale. You watch.
That is the dumbest. The great thing about Star Wars
and her hoodie.
The great thing about Star Wars is, and Rob, I love to hear what you think about this. Everything in it is otherworldly. When you look at it, there's reference like, okay, that's a vehicle, that's this, but they not only had droids, they had droids based on other alien races. In the Jawa Sandcrawler, in the very first movie, there is a C-3PO like droid.
The Death Star droid.
Yeah.
They made a figure of him.
kind of face. Like, it's so layered, so deep. The fact that he had a basic gym bag is lame. But the biggest problem, why the show doesn't work and why people maybe can't pinpoint why it doesn't resonate with them, I don't know what Osha or May want. And they change their mind so frequently, it's frustrating. I understand.
And their allegiances.
Yes.
Like dealing with a woman. I know.
Not everyone. We don't understand anyone's motivations and why they're doing what they do, because the writers didn't want to make that up. They didn't want to put in the work to develop these characters.
That's how I feel about this show, is that nobody bothered to do the work.
A well-written character is so good. You know that their goals are so clear. What they would and would not do is so laid out plainly.
Yeah.
That when they say the characters write themselves,
Yes.
if you were to write a Luke Skywalker story, you know what he would do and what he wouldn't do. And if he broke that behavior, you'd have to provide a very good reason as to why Luke did something un-Luke.
He had a bad dream, and so he tried to murder his nephew, and then he left the galaxy because he likes the milk on that island.
We can all relate to that. Actually, that's
Exactly.
the problem, is Luke's major turn in his character happened off screen. That's
Which is
why
terrible. Never do that.
terrible. So Osha and May, I don't know what they want, and they are the least interesting
But
characters.
let me tell you what they're
Please.
interested in writing. And it's something I caught. It's very subtle, is that you've got this guy in the yoga pants with the gym bag going to the grotto. He finishes swimming and he has a change of clothing.
Yeah.
Why the fuck does a guy, like when we
Right.
went camping, we stayed in our same fucking clothes for 7 days.
He's bougie.
And he's unbelievably bougie.
I will point out though that the thing he puts on is a Jedi under tunic.
It is
tunics
nice.
that
It's
they
very
all put on.
fashionable. But he went in with a black outfit and just happened to also include a comfy gray Jedi night outfit. I like that. To me, I went, oh my God, their interests lie elsewhere from mine.
Yeah. They're concerned about the wrong things.
Yes.
Like what you were saying before about, this is a boy's brand, and nerds would be concerned with the details about gear porn.
Yes.
So if we saw the first introduction in live action for the light whip, a male Star Wars nerd would make sure that looked cool. But instead we got this, just the most goofy looking thing. And they didn't even bother to think about how the technology would work, because it doesn't work the same as a regular lightsaber, but they're just like, oh, it's just all the same. So they're just mostly concerned with clothes and just these and the
accessories, but not
stupid
gear.
gerbil, but they're not concerned with what nerds would like, which is the gear. The light whip should have been awesome. It should have been cool, and it should have been wielded by a dark. It should have been wielded by a Sith. That should have been the first
It should have
thing.
been
To piggyback on what Chris said.
that it was greater than the lightsaber. Instead, all she does is kill a bug with it in a way that a lightsaber would kill a bug.
Just for the promo shot. That's
Mhm.
all
Yeah.
it was for.
You know,
But
a
she
fly
senses
swatter
it
would have been
too.
more
There's no sense
inventive.
that this lightsaber, that this whip is going to be menacing, is going to kill a Jedi. It's just a different weapon. And
Well, no,
that's-
it was
that the main
product
problem with it.
placement. Al, it was product placement for a brand new series of bug zappers that are coming out.
I want to piggyback off what Chris said, because it's not just the laziness of the characters, it's the laziness of the world, man. There's okay, even if it wasn't a horrible show like it is, but what takes me out of this show so much is just the language they use, man. Like, for some reason, and this was a little thing, and I don't know
Take
why
the
it bugged
wheel.
me so much when I heard it said.
Take the wheel.
But no, not take the wheel. For some reason, when May said, "Oh, they'll be here in 5 minutes," I'm like, that doesn't, 5 minutes? Like, that doesn't sound right in a Star Wars universe, right?
Chill,
Like,
sister.
they
It'll
would have
be
used a
here.
different word for minutes, seconds, hours. Like, that little thing,
Parsecs.
it just
Yeah.
it burrowed into my brain. Like, that doesn't make sense for her to even say those words.
Or
Right, and
Jedi
it was a little
introducing-
thing. The other
introducing
thing
fellow
was-
knights as colleagues.
The other thing was the factory settings. Oh, I'm gonna put you back to factory settings.
Yeah.
What?
And then
like it's a fucking iPhone 6. Like what? Like I don't understand. It's the laziness of even the world building.
Yeah.
Right. This is like fanfic, man. This is just fanfic. This isn't a Star Wars property.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but it's not Star Wars.
Our review was those bugs. These bugs on this planet exist for one purpose, and that's so Jedi can kill them.
But would the Jedi even do something like that? If the Force, if everything creates the Force, if life creates it, surrounds us and binds us, why would a Jedi ever kill anything living?
It's true.
It's not supposed to. What is Yoda's 2 principal rules of a Jedi? Knowledge and defense. Never attack, man. That's it.
I mean, and you know, bugs would not be something. They would be the very ecosystem is run by bugs, driven by bugs. You would never kill a bug.
Well, and in the episode right before that, we see Osha and May talking to a butterfly, right? Like holding it in place, and they didn't have to kill it, right? How come Soul can do that with the bug that was flying at him? Like stop him with the Force, talk to him, and the bug flies away, right? That would be a Jedi thing to do.
Well, my understanding is in the EU that creatures are attracted to Sith energy. So if you look at the characters that the bugs went after, you know, if they have a little Sith energy, that's
maybe you're assuming Leslie Headland knew that and put that into it for that.
But that's the problem.
Right.
There's obviously a lot. There's a lot of canon they're taking from. The entire show is an expanded universe show based on expanded universe books with expanded universe characters. So when we're all judging on the movies, this isn't the movies. It's literally the expanded universe in live action. And it could make sense, and sometimes it comes directly from the canon. But yeah, someone told her about cortosis.
And did a Jedi ever wield a whip like that, a weapon like that? Because I don't want to say with 100% certainty that a Jedi would never, across all of this mythology, would never have a weapon like that. But it seems so much more akin to a Sith weapon.
I can recall several
it's
Sith.
very well documented.
No Jedi,
that it is a Sith, because the Jedi are known for wielding these elegant, civilized, not as random as a blaster. Like they're known for wielding the lightsaber. So if they do intend to make her the Sith master, maybe that's why she has it. I don't know.
And a whip is an offensive weapon. That's not a defensive weapon. You can't block with a whip. Okay? And it's a lightsaber whip. So what's she gonna do? Swing from trees with it?
No, be chopping off those branches.
Exactly. This is the most impractical Jedi weapon I've ever seen.
But if a Sith would use it, if they introduced Milo Ren with it, I think that could have been cool. Yeah. Again, I think it would have been much neater if they had a Sith use it. Lumaya is a dark lady of the Sith who went toe to toe with Luke Skywalker, and the way they did it was cool. There was an actual mechanical element to it. So there was a tangible metallic cord that comprised the whip part, and it was also mixed with the lightsaber driven energy of the kyber crystal. So it was a mix of both, a dual nature. And again, that's what I was saying before, that they don't think about those details about how a weapon like that would work and who would most likely use it. And it would have been much cooler if they just had nerds in charge of this show. We could have had something really cool.
Yes.
Instead, it's so cringe.
Can you imagine during that Jedi massacre in episode 4 or 5, that if Qimir had that weapon and was killing the Jedi with it, how much of an impact now that weapon would have?
And interestingly, Luke used a dual wielding stance with a shoto, along with his traditional lightsaber and the shoto, the shorter blade. So, and we saw Milo Ren have that stance. So I don't know if they're just taking it from Legends and twisting it.
That lightsaber where it comes apart and it's a dual and a double, and all that's Cal Kestis's in the last 2 games. Same shit.
They rip off those games so hard.
Same thing of Lord using it like a flashlight. That's what Cal does in dark areas. He brings his flashlight and uses his lightsaber to see. So yeah, they're taking shit from games, but yeah, that's a thing.
You know what's weird to me though? Out of all the episodes that we've seen of the Acolyte, the only thing people are talking about is him taking a bath.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing about the show, is him being half naked or totally naked. I guess they won't show his ass, I guess, but that's all we're talking about. Or not us, but just the fans, quote unquote, the Disney fans. That's all they're talking about, is how good he looks naked.
Because nothing else happens. Nothing happens in this story to move the plot forward. It's like,
and then Yord steaming his robe. These are mundane, weird things that we're seeing these characters do that it's awful. Paul, you coined the term gear porn. You get all the credit for that. That is so I never thought about it. It's so ingrained in all Star Wars.
Yep.
Starting with the first movie, gear porn is. And I will say, this might sound somewhat sexist, but I do think there is a difference between male Star Wars fans and female Star Wars fans. And look, there are legit fans of Star Wars that are female, and there are a lot of them. I think they're interested in different things. For example, the company Her Universe would not exist, so I don't think guys care as much about fashion. They like t-shirts, but fashion not so
I mean,
much.
we can acknowledge a cool outfit, but that's about
sure.
it.
Armor
But
is more
Her
appropriate.
Universe, the whole company is built on fashion that's like everyday cosplay. You know, I'm kind of dressing Star Wars, but I can wear this out and other people won't notice. That company's hugely successful, targeted to women and not successful to guys. It just isn't. And I'd say that women are probably less interested in spaceships, action figures. I mean, I know.
No, but that's a fact. That's a retail fact. But
Right.
generally speaking, again, I'm generalizing, men are interested in hobbies, of which women are one, and women are interested in themselves, and men are fixer-upper projects.
Right.
Those are the differences. Men are stupid, women are crazy. There's your
Right.
dividing line. Okay, again, that's not hard and fast, but you find I don't like the perfunctory application or uses of the technology in any of the Disney Star Wars. It's like the stuff exists. People aren't having problems. You're not having Han Solo trying to constantly fix the Millennium Falcon as he's trying to get away.
Because that's a manly thing to do.
Yeah, and it's always broken. And Luke says, "Well, why can't you go to hyperspace?" And he goes, "That speech about you want to end up in the middle of an asteroid, kid," or like, you know. And there's none of those speeches because that's how guys talk about stuff. And
they can also go anywhere in 30 minutes, by the way, so they don't even need to have that speech. They go to Coruscant to the outer rim.
That's true.
Yeah,
I mean,
days.
they're able to travel all over the place. We don't see really the control panel to the Saul's Jedi lunchroom in space until the most recent episode where he's, he's now like he tells what's her name who's coming up, May as Osha. May has come up with the knife, and I'm yelling, "Stab him! Stab him! Stab him!" And then he goes, "Take the wheel."
Alan, let's take a look at the ratings.
Yeah.
You got an article up there.
Yes. I will rule you one day, Flash Gordon.
Terrible.
Wrong franchise, dude. Yeah. Wrong franchise. What are you talking about?
All right,
That was
so
a terrible,
these are,
merciless accent, Al.
all right, these are the television ratings for last week, ending on July 4th. And I should warn you. That the limitations of this list is that they only list the top 10, and they don't list anything underneath it. So as you can see, the Acolyte appears.
Hmm.
How about that?
dude, Love Island is number 4. Love Island.
Oh no! You know what? They just renamed Acolyte Love Island just for that.
There you go. It's number 4. I made it number 4. That's right.
That's the name of the planet.
Yeah.
The lowest one is on Apple TV Plus. I don't know anyone who has that.
By the way, I binged that over the weekend.
I'd say I have it for All Mankind and Severance and a
Yeah,
couple other ones that
Severance.
are good.
Silo's okay. That's pretty
Silo's
good.
great. I'll just say it's not.
Apple shows are pretty good.
I need to watch Dark Matter. I've been hearing good things about that.
It's pretty good.
I'll say Presumed Innocent is not as sexy as the movie.
No.
So it's the lowest with 282 million minutes watched. So how does that even translate?
No one's watching it.
It's so
I
boring.
would love to see the makeup of the writing room for this show. Like, I just want to see who's involved in this. Like, I already have an image, but I just really want to kind of see it for myself. You know what I mean? It's just so weird to me, man. I was thinking about Andor a couple of days ago, and I remember a scene. I forgot which episode it was, but Andor, just to show you what good writing can do, Andor made a TIE fighter menacing, where you were actually afraid of a single TIE fighter.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just don't get it. Like that level of writing, and now we get the Acolyte.
But the difference is Andor, what Tony Gilroy was tapping into was the idea of a World War II resistance. Mm-hmm. And there's a whole genre that Andor belongs to, you know, using the war film, the resistance film, whether it was everything from Open City to the Battle of Algiers to Guns of Navarone or Where Eagles Dare. There's all these things that he was tapping into that we know, you know, in terms of wartime. And what Andor did so well is it tapped into the war side of Star Wars. The fact that there is a rebellion, there is an empire, and it was very legitimate in the sense that everything that it delved into felt real. And we saw multiple points of view across the universe, whether it was Mon Mothma or whether it was Cassian or whether it was Luthen, or you realize that there's all this stuff happening and it really felt like it was wartime. You believed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus the joke of stormtroopers not being able to shoot got way too taken away. Like, the Empire is a terrifying army. They know how to shoot. So the joke of stormtroopers not being able to hit anything, just that took on too much.
You know
of a
what the
life of its own.
interesting thing about Andor is I could have completely gotten rid of the entire Andor segment of that show.
Yep.
And just watched
I agree.
The intrigue of the Empire and the trouble the police guy got into by not arresting or not listening to his superior. I loved all of that.
And Mon Mothma.
Mothma. I loved that. To me was
it was great stuff.
Fantastic, very anime in many ways.
Yep.
And all the Andor stuff, I could have gotten rid of the
title character.
Andor is a hill I will die on as far as Star Wars goes. Like, I'll debate Star Wars theory any day about how, because he always says it's not a Star Wars show. It damn well is a Star Wars show.
It's more Empire Strikes Back than
Yeah.
anything else that Star Wars has put out since.
The only thing that it does wrong is that it treats the rebellion as evil as the Empire. I mean, that's the problem. Like, they're willing to sacrifice their own without any hesitation, without any.
You can't have good or
Okay,
bad.
okay.
There's no morality.
I will disagree a little bit just because we're talking about wartime, right? And I look, the good guys still have to make hard decisions in wartime. Like, it's not great.
Yeah, but that's human wartime. This is fantasy wartime, where the good guys shouldn't have to shoot one of their own because his leg is injured or because.
But these aren't Jedi.
The guy's going to be no. We're not talking about Jedi. We're talking about just the rebels.
You thinking Empire Strikes Back, one of the rebels would get? I'm agreeing with Script Doctor. You're thinking, yeah, this is the difference. Do you want what George set up with fantasy, and did you want what we want as adults, the more nittier stuff? But that was always in the comics. When you put it in Andor, it's different. I get what Script is saying.
Well, yeah, because I mean, Leia didn't kill that other communications officer in Empire because she was a woman, right? And they had to get away. It's like, no, we're just gonna
don't fight, guys.
Please don't disagree.
I really don't want you to fight.
Okay, but Script,
Don't make it personal.
I'll go as far as to say that I think with Andor, the stakes were a little bit more severe. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it was good that they did that. I'm just saying that, but you have to understand in war that stuff it can happen. And I get it's a fantasy, but it's a more serious fantasy, I guess, than how.
But my problem with that criticism is that the Empire annihilated billions of people in Star Wars with the Death Star, and once that happens, once you literally have the genocide of a planet, all bets are off if you're going to lean into a wartime show, because that happened in Star Wars in a fantasy context, and that's about the worst crime any sentient being could do to any other sentient being, is to literally destroy their world. And Andor exists in a world where an empire will exterminate an entire planet. So once that's happened, I don't think you can say that within a fantasy context, they still murdered billions of people. And
well,
that's
not yet.
that.
'Cause Andor takes place before the Death
No,
Star is
but-
constructed.
Sure, but that reality,
Mhm.
the fact that the Empire would do those kinds of things, they show what happens on a much smaller, on a day-to-day basis. How do we get to that point where you have a group of people that are willing to do something that terrible?
You're right
No, no.
in the sense that you're dealing with a group of people willing to create the Death Star that would annihilate a planet, that would kill that number of people. So that just doesn't happen. Hey, we got this Death Star. Hey, let's kill a bunch of people.
Exactly, but the other part too is
it's
that
embedded
the
in
moment
their
you make
minds
the
that
rebels
they're-
willing to kill one of their own, or just kill, like without any real target or focus on the consequences of that, is when you make them as blurred of a line towards the Empire than you do of them.
No,
being
no, I
heroes.
agree with
How
that.
would you
I'm
address
just
the rebellion
talking-
I do
that would
too.
kill one of their own to take over, to lead the galaxy out of the Empire when they're actually doing practices maybe not as egregious, but definitely not better than the
Yeah.
Empire.
Yeah,
I'm
here's
not
one of the
disagreeing with
issues
you on
I
that.
saw with Andor was the complete absence of the Force, the complete absence of some spiritual guidelines.
And that's why
the
it's not a
moral
Star
to follow.
Wars show. Theory's right.
Okay, but the point is that there was no moral, no spiritual guideline that these people followed. It was missing, and I think that was the whole point of the show.
No,
What
no,
is
Alec,
the
come on.
guideline?
They were trying to save lives, man. Like the balancing act that Luthen was doing
Right,
to make sure that lives were saved.
right, but to compromise oneself in the actions they make.
I have friends on that
seems to
Death
be-
Star.
Yeah,
Do
seems to be-
you not
I'm
remember
not
that speech?
criticizing it
I'm
because
Do you not
fighting
remember
it's
that
there.
speech that
I'll
Luthen
never
gave?
see.
Look, I'm not criticizing that it's not there. I'm only stating it as a fact that this is where the characters are left when they have no moral high ground to stand on, or no morals to rely on.
But a lot of the
Exactly.
heroes can stand on that moral high ground because there's other guys willing to do what's necessary so that others can look like the hero and look better.
Andor
You like
That's when,
Saul
you bring,
Guerrero.
that's when you bring the aspirational aspect down to our level in the gutter. We are not as good as these people. We're not supposed to be. We're supposed to aspire to be like them. The
Sure.
moment that you say it is justified for a rebel leader to actually murder one of their own or kill an innocent person in order to save other lives is the moment you realize they're not a hero. They're just a pawn to do the exact same thing that the Empire will do. They're just maybe a few steps behind them in the overall thing. There's
So you're telling me if someone kills another person to save millions, that guy's not a hero?
in the context of a fantasy, no, they're not. Because this is the same debate that we had with Man of Steel at the end. Superman didn't have to break Zod's neck to save that family or save the world, but he did because they wanted to bring Superman down. They didn't want to make him aspirational. They didn't want to use his guile or his wits to try and defeat Zod in another way.
Do you think he could have defeated Zod in any other way than killing him?
Yes.
Like, seriously.
How could how?
Wait.
Fly him
He
over
didn't
the
have
moon
an
on the dark
ability.
side, keep him there until his power drains out because, again, it's a solar
Oh,
reserve.
Jesus
He's only
Christ,
been there
that's
for a
not how
couple days.
that works.
Hell,
Wait,
You
no,
can't do that with Zod, man. He's not that.
Keep it in Star
sure
Wars.
he
Keep it
can.
in Star Wars. So was Luke a fucking murderer because he blew up the Death Star and he should have talked it out?
No, that's a defensive aspect because, again, they're attacking and these are all bad guys on here and they're
I think
destroying
it's all
it.
of us versus script.
Anakin destroyed the
No,
Death
because the
Star.
thing is,
Is
I'm
that
not
what
talking about
happened?
killing the enemy. I'm talking about killing someone on your own damn side.
Yeah. But, well, okay.
That is big difference here.
No, and I agree with that. I agree with
Destroying
that.
a weapon. He wasn't killing people.
But
Yeah,
I
he
think the
destroyed
point
a
of
weapon.
Andor was to make it realistic. Like, what does war really look like?
But you
That's
can
not what
still
Star
do
Wars is.
that and still keep the Flash Gordon aspect of George's original universe.
Yes,
Yeah, I mean, I think as
agree
a
with that.
whole, the
Sure.
rebels are good guys, but there's always like individuals that may like skirt the line and not holding up to those ideals of the whole like good guys, like the Jedi or the rebellion as a whole. That there could be those outliers. Like I can see that there's some nuance there, but overall they should be seen as the good guys. Yes, but
He could have
I'm
died
kind of-
from a cold. That would have been better.
But I don't know if Andor is a story about a good guy. It's about a guy who has to do what's necessary to save people, right? Like that's, and I get it. It's Star Wars. You want it to be a little bit more fantasy than that, but we've already had all the big fantasy. I felt like Andor was more on the like Rob said, on the war side, and we got to see it a little bit more from that perspective, where it felt more like an actual Star War
Yep.
versus.
I mean,
You know-
Star Wars never really got into the nitty gritty of what war really was about and what would really happen.
No, but the thing is, you're also missing the brilliant aspect of the writing of putting your hero in a position where they could either kill the person on their own side to save lives or have to struggle with difficult decision to try and get around it. The more her aspirational heroic aspect is that they don't kill the person to show them that they are a true hero. The moment you have them killed, that you're like saying, nope, there's no aspiration, there's no fantasy in Star Wars. We're just going to make this just like the Vietnam War, just like World War II, where we've had to kill people on our own side because maybe they might have betrayed us or maybe not, because it's all about just the end result. It's not about the means that we with which to get there. And the heroes are usually about that they take the means that are moral and virtuous in order to inspire others. They don't compromise their own integrity for the sake of the end goal, because that's where you get the whole, the means don't justify the ends. And that's where you have to have, and at least in the Star Wars aspect of things, you don't want the means to compromise what the end goal is going to be.
But I would say that Andor is looking at the Star Wars universe from a different perspective than that. Which is why
absolutely.
I think examining different kinds of storytelling within the Star Wars universe is something that should be done. Like if there's an actual war happening, look, we watched Ewoks getting slaughtered in Return of the Jedi.
Yes, but not by
Ewok lives matter.
But I mean, it's like the cost of war is something like with the amount of people that die in the Star Wars universe, in a way, it's always been glossed over. And I think what Andor did was finally bring real stakes and the power of what sacrifice and death really means.
Andor would have been helped if they didn't hire a wretchedly boring actor like
That's
Diego
what it is.
Luna
I just
as
don't
the
give a
lead.
shit.
I agree with that as well.
Yeah.
No
me too.
charisma. Yeah, Paul's right. If only
And we
they'd
already
gotten
know.
anything other.
Yeah, we already know his story too. So it's
Yeah,
like
we
I think
already
that's
know
why
his
people
story.
like
You think he
Luthen
lives
the
at the
best.
end?
I would say Luthen is one of the greatest Star Wars characters.
Oh, I agree. I 100% agree with that.
And that speech when he talks about I'm fighting for a sunrise I will never see. I mean, that's the warrior version of what a Jedi Knight is.
Yeah, I know.
That's somebody who's imbued with, talk about altruistic. I mean, that man is willing to do what it takes to save the universe, even though he's not going to be the one to see it saved.
Yeah,
that's an amazing
They
character.
shouldn't have named it Andor. They should have named it like something else, because it's definitely an ensemble and it's greater than
I agree
one
with you.
character.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah,
You're
Rebel
right.
Alliance would have been a better name.
And
Oh,
Luna
that's
was the
cool.
worst character in the thing. I know that he came from Rebel. The
Rogue One.
Rogue One.
Couple of pieces of news here. We have the this from Forbes. The Acolyte Fanbase has found its sexiest Sith alive in an unexpected place. So this is sort of like, is OSHA like those women who date guys in jail?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
Yes, you're right.
Is that where we're at? And the second thing is, I don't know, we're gonna fact check this. Is the audience score from the Acolyte removed from Rotten Tomatoes?
Oh, I thought you guys were talking about Rebels or Andor when you were saying that. Let me see that.
You know what? And
We'll find out.
and Chris, this
Yeah,
is
it's
from
removed.
Forbes. This is from Forbes Beat magazine.
Yeah, Forbes Beat. Yeah,
Forbes
but
Beat. It's a different magazine.
Yeah, I just checked it. They removed it. It was at 14%, and now it's gone. It's still 83% general.
wow.
So that means it probably went down, and then someone said, "That's it, pull it."
Wow.
Okay.
So without an audience score, that's technically 0. So there we
Yeah.
go.
That's crazy. So
But it doesn't matter. Hey, Rotten Tomatoes, Leslie wants you to know this, that Rotten Tomatoes, does anyone really care about those ratings anymore? That was her last article. It's to be expected. And then they go ahead and remove it.
yeah, what see, I just think because I was fortunate to be able to watch Star Wars with my kids. They reached a certain age where they could get into it, and they don't have to be that old, but like that is one of the joys of what this franchise has is being able to re-experience it through younger eyes, through new eyes who've never seen it, and they find different things to love about it. There's so much for different types of people to love, but I don't think that this is really necessary.
By the way, Gary from Nerdrotic just posted that on Rotten Tomatoes they took away the audience score.
Yeah.
I'm looking through Rotten Tomatoes right now. I'm looking at several reviews, and the audience score is removed from everything. So there must be a glitch at
Oh,
Rotten
okay.
Tomatoes right now.
Kenobi too, apparently, if you believe
No,
chat.
I'm
I
looking at the
normally do.
bear. I'm looking at the bear, which is arguably loved by
Oh.
all, and there's no audience score there either.
So it could be.
So are they going to get rid of the audience score? Is that what they're going to do?
They must be doing some maintenance or something, because also it's no longer saying it's certified. So like even the bear's not certified fresh at the moment. Acolyte's not certified fresh. I think there's something going on at Rotten Tomatoes where they're
I'll just say this. Based on my recent experience, and also the Film Threat website has been around since 1996. Many times we have had glitches, so it does happen. Any comments on this story right here?
I
This is
believe it.
cringe.
Like I said, I
Yeah.
saw this video. He's now the new thirst trap.
And he's
not
Asian,
wrong.
my friends. He's
The
Asian.
fan base, the very few
Alan
fan
is
base that's there.
happy.
He needed a bath after
I mean,
filtering all those
great that
people.
it's great that the characters loved on the show the most are the Asian ones. And
But for all the girl power and all the DEI and all the other BS, what kind of message is this for young women? Like, what kind of message is this, man? It's yeah, he's a little broken. He'll kill your friends, but he has a sexy ass.
No, yeah,
Well,
it's not.
I mean, it's you can be an a-hole and treat
You could kill
a woman-
people.
treat a woman badly, and you're hot. That's
Okay,
the message
Like, what-
I
Look,
take away.
But this-
For
unfortunately,
coming out of
that's a
Disney, I
reality.
don't get it. Why would Disney? I mean, it's not like romance was a huge part of Star Wars. I think it has a place, and I think it can be very cool, like fantasy romance.
Leslie answered.
And
She likes
but
it.
and you have Pirates of the Caribbean. They had a great romance in that. So like, why is it with Star Wars they can't get that right? It's just weird. It comes across as weird and cringe. And I find it funny that the only time where they cared about the protagonist Osha was when this scene happened, and then it became Qimir. Then they liked that character.
Look, you could try to make a correlation between Leia and Han, right? Leia was the princess, kind of highfalutin and uppity, whatever, and then you have this smuggler, right? This no good smuggler like Han Solo. Yeah, Han Solo did some bad things, but overall he was a good guy, right?
Shot first.
And she fell for the good guy, right? I mean, yeah, he did some illegal things. I'm gonna say that, illegal, but this is way different than that. Han Solo didn't kill Leia's friends or kill her parents or kill, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but we've read the article. This isn't a Star Wars show. It's a Leslie Headland show, to the point where she originally turned in the script to Kathleen. Kathleen cried, said it was such a good Star Wars script, gave it back to her and said, now go write a Leslie Headland script. And that's what this is. Kill Bill meets Frozen and the lesbian store overtones and all the things. It's not a Star Wars story. It's a Leslie story.
Why is the man naked then?
It has to be.
I mean,
It's
why
the law.
couldn't it be? I mean, this begs the question: would we?
She
be
subverted our
talking-
expectations,
Would we be
Alan.
having this conversation if this was Osha instead of Qimir here?
That would be a great conversation. I wish we were having, but
Yeah.
I think
but
this is just
yeah.
not done well. But it is for all the reasons we said. He's a Sith. He's trying to seduce her. He's trying to get her to turn into her passions, and he wants everyone to look at his cool scar on the back.
Well,
yes, it could have been done differently. It wasn't. This is what we got.
It's
We
also
know from-
diminishing the bad guy. I mean, I can't really look at him the
Oh,
same.
yeah.
He was kind of cool
He's not a
in the
Sith.
last episode, and
He's
now
been-
he's
He's been
kinda,
kicked out by the Jedi, and he's been kicked out by the Sith, and now he's boo boo bee boo and just wants an acolyte. They can't say apprentice because Trump had that series. So pupil, acolyte. He just wants someone to pass on his failed philosophies, because I don't know what it is at this point. He just wants freedom. You're free. Go do what
How
you
is
want.
Screen Rant still in business, by the way?
Well,
And
okay,
Collider.
Alan, if
It's
you would,
clickbait.
this was an article you put in the planning
Yes.
document.
Unfortunately,
Can you read
you're
this?
the one sharing the screen, so I can't.
Oh, okay, Badger, would you read this? The headline and
Yeah, the acolyte rejects
Oh, you
one of
just got
George
the headline.
Lucas's most important dark side rules, and that's why it's great. And I'm going to assume that once you start using the dark side, it corrupts you eventually. That you can't use it without the cost. But let's see. But the show's portrayal of the dark side as seductive and glamorous contrasts Lucas' vision of it as mundane and ordinary. When the hell did he ever
What?
show it as mundane and ordinary? Sorry.
Ew.
The acolyte setting 100 years before the Skywalker saga allows for the dark side to hide its true face, complementing Lucas's approach rather than invalidating it. I have a wasting disease from reading that. No, that just goes
It's
to
so
show you that the
cringe.
people writing about this never understood the stuff to begin with. And this is just at their corporate master's behest, which is why I read the 2 articles from Screen Rant and from Collider, and it was the same goddamn article, just rewritten, trying to prove the same points that
So
aren't valid.
What was the point they're making?
That the dark side is super sexy and they're hiding it. And
That's what
George
Lucas
showed
said.
mundane.
This is
That's what Lucas said,
the
or that's-
important
No.
part. This read this paragraph. It's quoting George.
A few months ago, I was somewhat shaken to discover a 2005 Rolling Stone interview with George Lucas in which he discussed Darth Vader. I'm used to thinking of the Dark Lord of the Sith as one of the most iconic villains, but Lucas has a very different view now. Ultimately, he's just a pathetic guy who's had a very sad life. Yes. Lucas concluded at one point, I remembered that. Yeah, he's talking about the fact that ultimately this big bad villain is a guy that was born a slave. Yes, had a tragic Shakespearean. That is true, but I don't know what the point of that is in relation to
Taking
Acolyte.
one sentence and
Yeah,
that George said about
wildly
this
out of
and
context.
exactly. He said so much about it, and no one can deny that this is about good and evil and heroes and villains, and Jedi are the good guys and Sith are the bad guys. And this is why this show sucks, is because we have no heroes to root for. And people even
Palpatine.
people liked Soul, I guess, for the most part, but he has continually, as the show has gone on, been so diminished. And, and in this latest one, he just looks sad and he looks fearful and he has no honor. And it's going to only get worse as we continue on. And we have no villains. We have no proper villains to like wish for the demise of and see it, the heroes rise above.
If there's no good or evil.
No. Right.
The Sith are just misunderstood.
And every time he tries to explain what
Shout out,
happened
Gary.
on the planet of the lesbian witches, he's interrupted. I am now going to tell you what happened. Hold on just a second. My mother's calling.
Someone's calling.
hello.
That is the most
Hello.
annoying part of this
This is
whole
like
show.
Star
Yeah.
Trek.
Oh, yeah,
Explain
it
it.
really.
Explain it. You know what? I think Leslie Headland should read. If women are hot over bad guys, they should redo A New Hope and then have a bunch of groupies go after Grand Moff Tarkin.
No,
after
Paul,
he
don't
blows up
say
the
that.
planet.
That's what they're gonna do. Gary has been calling it forever that they will eventually remake all the movies, original
No, but
trilogy.
there'll be
prequels.
girls who will be hot for Moff Tarkin for blowing up all those people.
Don't you
Oh,
put
yeah,
the evil
absolutely.
out there, Ricky Bobby.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that bugs me the most about that whole scene with Darth Gluteus and that whole thing is that okay, they'll go ahead and do something like that, right? But you will never ever see them do that with a female character, right? And it's not just Star Wars. I'm seeing that with everything now. I said that on George's show yesterday. If you look at The Boys, right? See this new season of The Boys, I have seen so many balls and schlongs like in The Boys this season, right? So much man ass that too much to count, right? But the one time that it was necessary for them to show a tit,
Right.
they don't even do that. They cover it up. No female nudity at all, right? But plenty of male nudity, right?
There's no balance. It's literally the inverse now.
Yeah.
And you'll accept it. That's poor men complaining about it's like, oh God.
This season of The Boys had a naked human human centipede where it's just a bunch of guys all doing a male centipede on each other. They can show that, but they can't show one female nipple.
It's a shame I missed
Not
that.
this
That
season.
sounds
apparently.
gross.
Oh, it was awful.
There's so many articles about like the stranger being sexy. The Acolyte fan base has found its sexiest Sith alive.
Darth Maul way sexier. How dare they?
Hayden Christensen wasn't sexy.
Yeah, I mean before he got all Bernie,
This
like
seems
burnt.
planned. It seems like there was an effort to push this story. Right?
100%.
All these outlets at once having a story about this. As we saw earlier from the ratings, it's not even in the top 10. So what I'm saying is these articles are not organic.
Yeah.
This is manufactured.
Leslie wrote him in. She said originally he was only going to show up in like that beginning part where he ignites his lightsaber for no reason, and then the response was so much that she rewrote episodes to have him more in it, and then saw fanfic out there and somehow adapted that to where this is all going. So yeah,
That's
fanfic.
impossible because
Is it?
they shot this last year.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
all
And
shot
I would
in one
refer
go.
you
It's
to
not
the
shot like a
article where
television
she
show week by
talks
week.
about it. It's with Collider, and it just came
Yeah,
out.
because she is a truthful and honest person, and everything she
Thank
said,
God. Make
we
the
should
videos about
believe.
it.
So there you
That's
go.
a grasp on Star Wars.
Well, they're not going to show Amandla or any woman in anything but baggy clothes. Amandla in that video of hers where she dances like Elaine from Seinfeld.
Oh, she's hot.
Oh, I wish
She's,
Elaine had done
apart from not being able to dance, she's
Right.
very hot.
She's hot.
Yeah.
I saw her on The View this morning. I mean, she looks good in everything I've seen her in
Yeah.
except Star Wars.
Well, but that's not untypical for any of these shows where the women all dress up for the red carpet treatment, but look like bag ladies in the actual shows.
Yeah.
Right? There's this weird thing which they've done. I'm waiting for the women on these shows to actually have a grocery cart filled with shit in it that they've gotten from the street. So you know, the point is, if they dressed her up in the way that she dressed in that video of hers, I'd go, okay, great. This is interesting. I got two things to look at, right? But oh man, I mean, that gray outfit of hers in the show where she's Ocha.
It's a,
Yeah,
like
but
a
you
bag.
can't promote the male
A
gaze,
tarp.
right?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's the male gaze. It's been, you know, I've been to seminars about the male gaze, and
G-A-Z-E.
and it's always it's wrong. You know, you shouldn't be indulging men this way, but then it's okay to do it for women. And I think my point is, look, let's do it for both. Let's just call it truce.
Balance.
Do it, you know, balance.
Yeah,
exactly.
the biological
Look for
imperative,
balance.
the way we've all evolved to be, is
Yes.
somehow
And
bad.
it's not like you
That's
have
what they
to
don't
put
like.
her. It's not like you have to
That's
put
what
her
they
in a
don't like.
bikini or anything.
No.
Or if she's a beautiful woman as is. Just wear something flattering to her figure, flattering to her face, and all of that. And that's all you have to do. You don't have to do anything. But putting her in a tarp, a tent, is not helping anyone.
And also the whole Rick James do, like, I don't get it.
Alan, the memes are on point. We have a lot of memes. Alan, if you would read this one, the dramatic reading of this meme.
I killed your friends. I like your penis.
There you go. Bravo.
That's a great meme.
My solution is to put everyone in burqas, men and women.
Yeah, there you go.
That's where it's going.
There's a lot of people on this planet that would agree with you.
I do like when they showed them have their hair there, because we were all like, why do they have the same hairstyle? And then they showed it, and they had the two of color sisters from the Force Witches
with
doing their
Qimir.
hair very carefully, and then they just kept it that way for 15 years.
That's right.
Your messages are up. So, okay.
Oh, shoot.
Oh no.
Pizza party.
Hey everybody,
No,
I have an
never
action
had that
figure, by the way.
function.
And,
Oh.
I like everyone to go out and buy my action figure.
It comes with the duck thing or the elephant, whatever that little elephant nose duck puffin thing is. That's not supposed to be the puffins from The Last Jedi.
It's a baby snuffleupagus. Yeah.
Baby Snuffleupagus. They'll
Yeah,
sell a
that was
million
the
of
best
those.
part of that episode was the little alien ducks or whatever they were.
Little
I-
peanut birds.
Kept thinking they kept showing that to show you how peaceful this planet is. Normally, when you see Sith and you see them go back to they're on like super dark side planets and very dark dystopian. This is rather peaceful.
It's
that's
just
so
any other
contrast.
generic planet. It's Octo. It's Octo.
That's what I thought
So
it was
it's
too,
fine.
but apparently we got confirmation it's not, even though they filmed like
If you-
damn near
No,
the
it's
same
Octory.
islands.
I'm gonna give
called
it a
Octory.
name.
It's called
It looks a
Unknown
lot
Planet.
like
Unknown,
Octo.
yes.
Yeah, nothing from Disney is going to be iconic except for laughing at their shit.
Yeah.
That there's nothing. And I don't know if you can put up this screen that I've got here, Chris.
Where is it?
I'm sharing there. So my comedy group, The Frantics, 1980. You know, we made fun of, you know, the Empire Strikes Back, and these things were important to us. Like we rushed out to include Star Wars iconography in the stuff that we were doing. Everyone at the time, everybody in the comedy sketch business, we were all like, this was important to us. Apart from making fun of this shit, no one is taking, like, no one is doing it with any kind of love or affection, right? And that's me on the far right, by the way. So,
Huh. Far right,
That's
huh?
awesome. That's awesome.
yeah, yeah. Bravo.
Oddly enough, those weird birds on that island was the most Star Wars thing in this whole show.
Yeah, I agree.
There's always
But
something.
they were all Jewish birds because they had big noses.
I think they're a bunch of dick
There's
noses. I saw
always
it too. I'm glad I'm not alone.
There's always something cute in Star Wars from the very first Star Wars. Even when they were designing the voice for R2D2, how he is supposed to, make sounds, they finally came to the conclusion. You probably know this, Rob. Just make his sounds like a baby. Like, how would a baby react to things? So if you go back to early Star Wars, he coos and makes noises like a baby, so you know how R2 feels, and that's what it was modeled on.
But how many are they putting into the Disney Star Wars like that?
Well, even the Jawas were cute.
Yep.
Absolutely.
But it wasn't overly ridiculous, like what they're trying to do with the gerbil.
God,
Basil?
Badger Boy.
How dare you? I do not disavow.
Having him like skulk around the ship and not tell Soul right away that he sniffs her. I don't know that it's what is he doing?
Can Soul understand that thing?
No,
he did later. It's implied that he told him.
It's Lucas comic relief insert.
Right.
That's all it is. It's we need something that's Georgie.
I don't feel cringe. I feel
hatred.
hatred.
Where we get Badger Boy humping her leg when she's an assassin that's killed 2 Jedi and she just couldn't pull out a ice pick and kill the Badger. Like, it's just so completely inconsistent.
Well, no,
that was Disney Channel right there. So
the character's name is Pronoun Beaver. That's according to Drunk 3PO.
Which I also take issue with, because sometimes people mispronounce Badger and call me Beaver, so I pseudo and Beaver adjacent. Oh my god! Yeah, I'm not buying these. By the way, I have Black Series. I'm totally not getting these.
Oh, you're kidding me?
For real?
Is this real?
Jackie, Master, and Dara,
and their Soul.
Yep, and Soul. They all have it.
$25 each, and you can pre-order them now for a September delivery.
Oh, and that helmet I showed you, the Smilo Rin helmet, it sold out. So unlike the Riva lightsaber, which didn't get funded, people are buying the Smilo Rin Black
I
Series.
thought they couldn't get the helmet out till next year.
The pre-orders are sold out. That's all I know.
The helmet comes out fall of 2025.
Jeez.
When maybe presumably the second season would be out.
I'm telling you now, that helmet is going to come into a lot of sex play for people. There's going to be a lot of role play going on.
Yeah,
I might get it just to
talking
wear on
about
stream.
the boys. All right, I want to get.
I got one more here.
What else?
There we go. Here's
Oh no! Oh no!
It's too soon.
Oh no!
Isn't that great?
Paul, you have to get an OSHA figure or a May figure.
You can't get an OSHA figure. You can get a May figure.
That's racist.
All right, I need your predictions for the next episode.
Okay.
Only an hour left until this story is done. And this is I saw the new House of the Dragon. Oh my god. That 4th episode was so epic with the dance of the dragons. Amazing. It was just it was so good. There's none of this like I can't wait to see what happens next in that story. But there's none of this, and I'll tell you my great dark secret. Cut to black.
A good question for another time.
Don't know how, but House of the Dragon, it has a satisfying conclusion, and I want to know what happens next, but it's not frustrating. It's not frustrating.
So my question:
the power of one, the power of two, the power of many. The power of one, the power of two, the power of many.
No other collection gives you the feeling of pure moods.
I don't know how that every show it has to play.
No, but I got to ask the question: does this get another season? Will there be another season of the Acolyte?
Of course it does. They can't
Let
cancel
me
it.
go back to the ratings here for a moment.
No, really. You know they don't care about that, Alan. You know they don't care about that.
But
So,
are you going to spend another $150 million on it? This is.
you don't think they won't?
Okay, you're probably right.
What story?
You know they will. Search your feelings, Alan.
If they have the money, they'll burn it.
You would
What
think.
story are they going to? I don't understand.
She says she has 4 or 5 more mysteries that to her credit, she did say something George has once
Does
said.
she know what a mystery is?
She said she put everything she wanted in her first season, but and it has a conclusion, but if she's given another one, she has 4 or 5 mysteries, which I'm assuming just means she'll cuck the Jedi further and make the Sith great. I don't know.
I don't believe that. I don't think this is going to wrap up. I think Chris, you're talking about predictions. Next episode will be the flashback episode from Saul,
Right.
whatever. I guarantee you, he won't get to the end of the episode.
I think we're
Right.
going to be stuck with something very similar to Ahsoka underwater reliving parts of the Clone Wars, because now Osha is wearing the helmet and she's going to get some sort of force vision through that. And we're probably going to be spending time with her experiences there, while Saul starts saying it was 16 years ago and we had just visited, and then cut to black credits, and then we're going to get that answer.
No,
Oh,
I think the ending is that Osha gets head lice from the helmet. That's it, and she screams. She's screaming. I got to jump into that nice green pool now. Get rid of the head lice.
I think pacing is the real villain of the show.
Pick one.
Why do all these shows just have like maybe an hour's worth of actual story, just stretched out over
20 minutes of credits?
They're written like movies and then broken up. I think a lot of it is they tell one long story and they figure out where the breaks are later.
Yeah. But Chris, as you pointed out, watching House of the Dragon last night, I mean, it works on so many different levels.
Yeah.
You know, you've got so many different storylines, so many different characters, and it all coalesces in such a way where you really feel that the storytellers knew exactly what they were doing. They thought about it, they put in the work. What they were building to throughout I mean, the satisfying nature of that 4th episode was infinitely beyond, I think, any of the Star Wars TV shows that they've given us.
Easily.
So
that's not a high bar.
No,
I know.
As we've gotten, we're waiting for what the disaster was on with the lesbian witches. Okay, we're waiting. Who was the cause of it? What exactly killed them? We don't know, because they're kind of laid out almost like a gas
minus
attack.
one of the mothers, but yeah,
they weren't bloody, you know. So it's got to be maybe some massive mind attack, the way the head woman attacked, Thimble or whatever his name was.
Mother Anastasia and Torben. I hate that I know these names.
Thank you.
Yes,
Torben.
RK Outpost Jedi.
So the thing is, the women were not assailed by lightsabers. They kind of all are collapsed in one area. We know that Qimir mentions the power of 2. How would he know unless he was with the witches?
When he said the power of 2, I think he meant Sith Master Apprentice rule of 2, and it
no,
just sounds similar. But
It's too specific. I'm kind of thinking that he is the 3rd child that they abandoned, like he was a work in progress. That's my thought. Is that
then how did he turn out
He
Asian?
was trained by a Jedi, right? Is he saying his Jedi master is the one that gave him the scar?
yeah,
Is that
well,
what
no.
was implied?
She asked, "Did your Jedi?" And he went.
so?
He gave a prolonged silence, as if it was the Sith, not the Jedi, because he was cast out twice.
Yeah. So is Picklehead one of the witches?
And, Vanestra Rowe. Here's the thing. Vanestra Rowe is an expanded universe character from all those High Republic books, and she's in a bunch of those books. So, like, could they choose to make her a Sith? It was Sith all along. They could.
Probably
I highly doubt they're just going to make her corrupt and covering it up.
I mean, they've
because
done
they're
that
in league
before,
with
though, in
politicians.
Legends.
They have.
made
They
bad
did that with
guys.
Barriss Offee, which I fucking hate because she was a great character in Clone Wars.
Well,
Did
and
that,
Darth Titus.
But Saul is
okay. Well, that's a different thing.
Saul
That
is
was
feeling the most
Darth Cadus
anxiety
in universe
about
reasons.
this. What did he do?
Saul. What did he do?
What did he do? Like
I think
what did Corbin do?
Complicit,
He was
whatever they
there.
do.
He was there.
So Torben has a Wookiee scar, and Barry Naka or Cal Naka, he went back because he's a mad claw now because Wookiees aren't supposed to attack people with their claws. So he went on exile. So I think the witches came and found them hacking their power grid, slicing their power grid. Maybe Cal Naka went a little crazy. Torben tried to stop him. He got slashed. This is all probably better writing than they're actually going to do. But it's
Yeah,
I
you're
mean,
writing
they
a way
know-
better story.
well,
They knew Osha was coming with them, right?
Yeah.
They already knew that?
or
Yeah,
So they
they
probably
did
went
put
there
false
to-
memories because that's happened before. In
Oh, I hate the
Expanded
false
Universe.
memories. No, please.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's a sophisticated type of memory block type thing. But yeah, no, it's not very Jedi-like and only used under the most extreme of circumstances.
I still think the Green Lady
isn't it?
could be the Sith.
They go
Master.
back and all the witches are actually still alive, and they actually put into their minds that they were all dead.
He clearly made it seem like that he lied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, everything
Or he's-
happens the way, I don't know, it's so forced. Like everything is just, it's whatever the plot needs it to be to get
Yeah.
from A to B. So they can literally just write whatever. Like what they've done with Cortosis. Cortosis has changed. Like with every episode since it's been introduced, they add something.
Yeah.
It can short out lightsabers, and then also it can block the Force. It can block you reading thoughts. Oh, and in this one, it can also like serve as a sensory deprivation device that can channel through the Force.
And
So they'll just do whatever they need to get whatever
and
A
it
to
can
B.
be fixed using a lightsaber when you can't hurt it with a lightsaber.
Yeah, but fucking George did that when he added frick metal in the
Oh,
prequels. That's what the Magna guards. I'm just saying, yes, his script likes
No,
to
you're
point out.
better than
George,
me.
Here's the
George
thing. I
has
think,
changed his mind many times throughout the years, and evolved his canon.
here's the thing. I think we can agree about how the episode will end. It will be an indictment on the Jedi.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
we
even
will,
more
we will
so.
have a different impression of the Jedi from this episode than we will have ever had.
Well,
You thought they were
Leslie's
good.
already said in several interviews that the Jedis are the bad guys. She's already clearly said that.
And it's been bad already. I mean, how can it get much worse? But I think it's going to get worse because they're just going to cover everything up. And I don't know how they're going to make Kiadi Mundi fit. You already added more Jedi into this conspiracy with this latest episode. Now they know at least
He's
some
either
sort
corrupt
of-
or he's stupid.
Yeah.
And
You
how
know,
does
I
Yoda
remember
not
it.
feel any of this? How does Yoda not feel all of these Jedi dying in such a violent way by a dark side? How does he not feel it? He felt something when Anakin was slaughtering the Tusken Raiders.
Yeah.
How does he not know this?
Well, because it would ruin the plot of the
Pablo
show.
Hidalgo or a Felonius, a Darth Felonius, or someone who knew all this that could stop them from making all these mistakes.
Well, they
Maybe-
can stop them, but they don't care because they think it's a good idea. That's
If
the
they
worst
just
part.
set this show like in a different, maybe different galaxy or like 1,000 years before, but why did they specifically want to set it so close to
To
where
shit on
Yoda's like
George's
800 years
legacy.
old and he's still around? Why did you have to connect it in this way? It just, and to where it doesn't make sense. And if it does, well, it's also just makes the Jedi look even worse.
Yep.
And as Chris and Alan said, that they're the ones who coined that this particular group of Jedi are like the
muted, Chris.
LAPD.
I
Right?
have a
true.
treat for everyone now. Breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Breaking news here. Marvel news, and I'll tie it in later. By the way, Alan and I just got invited to see Deadpool and Wolverine the Monday before Comic-Con.
Nice.
We will do a special show that night and then do a review the very next day, early on Tuesday, because we're going to Comic-Con on Wednesday.
I'm not watching your review.
No one will remember that. All right. Agatha all along has dropped a trailer.
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw it.
we saw it.
Okay, I have not seen
I
it.
haven't seen it.
Who else hasn't seen it? A lot
I've
of
seen it, but I'm looking forward to seeing you see it.
Yeah, yeah. No,
All right.
definitely.
So let's do it. Everybody, you ready? Okay,
We're ready.
Alan,
Oh yeah.
Another beautiful day.
Surprised to see you out here, Detective. Jane Doe. Found her down here by the water.
Cause?
Blunt force
Oh,
trauma.
can you stop for 1 second?
True detective looking good.
I have a lead in the case. But I can't shake this feeling I'm seeing it wrong.
My library book is full.
Is this really how you see yourself? That witch is gone, leaving you trapped in her distorted spell.
Oh my God. That's
Claw your way out. I miss the glory days. She took every bit of power I had, but I can beat that witch again. Well, the gang's all here. Let's hit the road. I'm gonna walk the witch's road.
The road is a death wish. Join me.
What witch in her right mind would join Agatha Harkness's coven? Not looking for right-minded witches, as it happens.
Sweetheart, you okay? Oh my God! Whoa! What's she doing? Where's she going?
Who is this for?
I don't
Who is
know.
this for?
It's like they're trying to
first
force
of all-
witches to take over zombies and zombies when they took over werewolves. Remember on TV, werewolves were a thing. Then zombies. Now they're moving to witches. It's
I want out of this
vampire.
timeline.
It's just they're going through all of them.
Can I be in the timeline where Star Trek Legacy happens and this doesn't exist? That'd be great.
Well, so whoever hasn't seen it, go.
You just flip through the timelines until you get to the one where Han, Luke, and Leia were in a scene together, and I don't care what else happened.
Yes,
if this happened,
please.
it's probably
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, this looks bad. It looks bad. I just
Well, it's
I
not
don't know.
Marvel. It's not
It's-
Marvel.
It's the Marvels. That's what it is. It's the Marvels with witches.
Yeah, but this isn't
So
even
that
Agatha
seems fun.
Harkness from
Aubrey Plaza,
I mean,
and
do
I like
people know
Catherine
who
Hahn,
Agatha
but-
Harkness is? Do they remember where she came from? And is this what they imagined her story would be?
Look, this could work if they leaned really into the horror aspect of it. I just don't think they will.
No.
How long ago was WandaVision, by the way? That seems so forever
It was the
ago.
very first MCU streaming series.
Yeah.
I remember
So-
thinking Doctor Strange would show up at the end.
Did they
Silly
really
me.
do it
Years
because of
ago?
the song? Oh, the song trended for a little bit on Twitter, so we're gonna make an
Yeah.
entire show. Why?
We were so optimistic back then.
Remember, we all thought Mephisto would show up, and then the showrunner came out and said that they didn't know who Mephisto was.
Yeah.
Oh, all those
We were so
good times.
optimistic. We thought this was going to be the beginning of a whole new thing, man,
Yeah.
and we were ready for it.
Sure showed up.
WandaVision was 3.5 years ago, January 15th,
That feels like 6
2021.
years ago.
We were just kids.
Sweet summer children.
It did start off intriguingly.
Yeah, it had a good start, and then it
It
just really lost the
It became a
plot.
Marvel series.
Oh,
That was the
I
first
I
one.
stand by those first 3 episodes of WandaVision. I
Yeah,
thought
they're
those
very
first
good.
3 episodes were great.
I'm
That's
tired
where
of the
we-
witches, though. This is like, it just seems overdone. Same thing with multiverses, and I mean, like the Dune came out and everyone went crazy.
So, do they release all of this with the review embargo like an hour before, and then they release all of it at once, skate quickly over thin ice, or
Oh no, they
it's
gave
week by
us
week.
they gave us 2 weeks to talk about Acolyte.
right? Oh, they've
Yeah.
got the oh, okay, sure.
Yeah.
That's
Can't
how
wait.
things blew up. Like, they gave us that much time to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm checked out, but Alan and I will be watching this. I can just I'll promise you that we're going to watch it.
Brave.
So-
I look forward
I mean,
to you watching it for me.
I like Catherine
Aubrey
Hahn a lot.
Plaza.
I mean,
Yes,
I
I
like
like
Catherine
Catherine
I,
Hahn.
yeah, and
Aubrey
I
Plaza.
like Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah.
I genuinely
I'm watching it
like
purely because of those 2 actresses. That's it.
She's
Yeah, who doesn't
awesome.
love Patty LaPone? Come on.
Yeah.
I just don't think that they've defined this. I mean, we had WandaVision, we had Werewolf by Night,
Which was great, by the way.
Yeah, it was. But the ridiculousness of Moon Knight, they haven't really defined the supernatural in the MCU.
Right.
And I think that's one of the problems they're having with Blade. If vampires have always existed and there's a vampire underworld on Earth, how are they affected by Thanos' snap?
Well,
Were
that's
they
why
because they're
Blade
undead?
has to be a period piece, though, right?
Yeah, I
it's
mean, I
modern
guess
day.
so.
It's been rewritten
I mean-
like 5 times. Even Marshall Ali, his lawyer, is like, "How is this not being made yet?" Yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
still
I mean,
modern
but
times.
I think that's a real existential problem for the MCU. They have the same problem with mutants. They've been sort of trying to like inject them, but if mutants have already or always existed, why
Right.
have they not been seen? How did they interact with the Eternals? If the Eternals knew that deviants were on Earth, did they know that mutations were on Earth as well?
Yeah. And that
Well,
why
the problem
Fantastic
was
Four,
that Fox
different world.
owned the mutants at that
I
point.
think the
Yeah.
MCU has gotten
And they were
too
moving around
large.
with the Inhumans.
It's gotten too large and too interconnected, and no one's talking to each other. No one's collaborating with what projects that they're going. Because when the first Marvel phases were in production, I feel like they all had a plan, or at least a guideline. I don't know. They knew where they are eventually going to go, and everyone seemed like to collaborate with each other. But this just seems like everyone's doing. It's just chaos, and this just they don't. If they can't even get a Blade movie out, and we're getting this. This is something needs to change, and I don't know.
Well, the Blade movie is a B or a C movie. This is why Disney can't get it out, because they can't. They think they got to spend $100 million on everything, and the Blade movie should be $3.50.
They expect Blade to make $1 billion.
Yeah, that's a problem. But the
just
Blade,
have him killing vampires. Don't have
there
him
you
with
go.
his daughter or his daughter's friends on a road trip movie, which is what it was.
Wow,
Blade was always going to be a problematic thing for Disney, right? Number one, it's super violent, or it should be.
It has
super
to be
violent, right?
R-rated.
Now, number two, he's black, so you can't sell it in China.
Yep.
Right? It's going to be a domestic movie. So there, to try to even attempt Blade, if you're the MCU at this point and you want to, run by this model that you guys have built, Blade makes no sense at all.
None.
Well, the original Blade, they budgeted it right and they made money with it. And Disney's not going to do that. This is the same thing.
I think they need to end this MCU, whatever this is. I think it needs to end, and they just need to reboot the whole thing and just stick to more contained stories, like smaller budgets and smaller scale, and pick just one or two heroes. But to do this interconnected stuff, like it's spun out of control, and nothing makes sense, and nothing's good anymore, and no one's collaborating, and they have people in charge who don't know what they're doing, that aren't familiar with the or source material, and don't know how to do a big budget comic book movie like this. So it's. They just need to go back to basics.
For a lot of things, though. For Star Wars, for the MCU, they just need to go away for about 5 to 10 years. Just go away. Let people forget about it, and then come back with something new.
Yeah, street level, just back to basics, I think would help.
Well, Elaine, you should do a video on that. I would watch it. I love all your videos. My understanding is that Deadpool and Wolverine addresses some of that. Apparently, lots of cameos. It's very funny. They make fun of multiverses and Marvel and Disney and Fox and all that. And apparently, there is a pivotal speech that Deadpool gives about how much multiverses suck. The main reason is there are no stakes.
Right.
No one dies. And there are a lot of unusual cameos. So that's the main reason for me, is in a multiverse, no character can die.
Well, because they do a multiverse where it's all the same characters across the multiverse. If you do a multiverse where there's unrecognizable characters, but it's the same planet, that's where you have your stakes, because now it's like, oh, it's this planet, it's our version, it's our universe that's at stake. It's not this other one where Tony Stark never existed and Captain America never existed. The other part too is with Disney, they can't stop, because right now they're leading a race where they're the only ones competing in right now. They've had the most consecutive Marvel franchise movies back to back coming out over years. They're past 30. No other franchise has got 30 movies to its name. So they can't stop. And they know if they do stop, that the guys over at Warner Brothers, if they end up hitting success with Superman Legacy and all those ones, they're going to catch up, and then they're going to blast by them. And then Disney is going to be forgotten, because everyone's going to be looking at Warner Brothers and what they do if they manage to pull that off. So from Disney's perspective, even though it's arrogant of them, they have to keep going. They have to make it work, and they're never going to stop until there's new management who says, screw it, we're stopping, we're resetting, we're doing whatever.
Well, what's interesting is you've got Thunderbolts, you have Captain America, Brave New World, you have Deadpool and Wolverine. And the thing is, if anyone saw any of the leaked images they did a Chinese event where they showed 28 minutes of the film.
Of which
and there were of Deadpool and Wolverine.
Okay.
And there were images that were leaked. Not that I looked at them, but there were images of certain characters, and it did nothing to dissuade me from the fact that the movie, everything they've shown, I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun. But the first Deadpool worked on a lot of different levels. It was funny. It was a great comedy. It was a great action film. It was a great superhero film. It was also a great romantic film. And it was $65 million movie that I think worked very, very well doing what it was supposed to do. It had great secondary characters. It was legitimately a great film, I thought, for what it was supposed to be. And I went in thinking it wasn't going to work at all. But this movie, everything they've shown us, and I want to love it, but it all seems like a goof. And what they really need to do is they need this movie to work as an entry the same way. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy 1, a great movie, a lot of fun. Very different from Captain America Winter Soldier, which was also a great movie. The first Iron Man is actually a legitimately great film.
Yeah.
And they really need to get back to, like everybody does, to the core idea of stop leaning on the idea that you're part of a multiverse and make your singular movies work unto themselves. And I wonder, will Deadpool and Wolverine pull that off, or is it just going to be a big
goodbye?
This movie feels like a one-off. That this is a one.
Yeah, this is a goodbye to the Fox X-Men and all the other thing. And for me, it's a goodbye to Marvel. I just want to see Hugh and Ryan together as Deadpool and Wolverine, and then bye.
But exactly. But haven't we already? I mean, the marketing leading up to that, I'm already over it. The movie better offer something more than simply that, because we've been watching them playing this shtick out for 3 years now. And the marketing is good and all of it's fun, and I get all that, but they better deliver a good movie.
Well, it's like a fireworks show. It's pretty lights and flashing lights, but what substance is underneath?
But Marvel used to be substance. That's why it became as successful as it was.
No argument from here for me.
I mean, if they use this movie to like end the MCU, to like end all the multiverses, and like, okay, we're gonna start over.
Yeah, release.
I just hope that they don't use the success of this movie to tell themselves, oh, hey, we were right. We're on the right trail. Let's keep doing what we're doing, right? I just hope they don't take the success of that.
But they've got 3 movies, if you want to include Fantastic Four. They have 3 big franchise movies following this that are supposed to be definitely shoring up what the MCU is and where it's going. And they're going to debut the
two of them, no gravitas behind it.
Halo is Mr. Fantastic, and an alternate reality again with the goddamn alternate realities. Retro futuristic Earth that's not our Earth. Explaining why
Fantastic Four connected.
I know. No, it's the last.
We don't know anything about Fantastic Four.
I know it's a period piece, so it's
Thunderbolts.
Alan just says we don't know anything
of end of Phase 5.
Okay.
was that?
Yeah,
I keep forgetting about these movies.
Yeah, I forgot they had phases. I'm like, oh, we're still in that phase.
I always forgot about the Thunderbolts.
Well, let's just say King kind of ruined the Phase 5.
Well, he didn't ruin it. It was already ruined then.
Yeah, I thought he did ruin it.
Let's not blame Jonathan Majors for Marvel being shit. Okay,
yeah, but the thing is that stalled whatever plan they had going on with the Kang dynasty.
Probably for the better. It probably saved them billions that
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying it killed Phase 5. Period.
Yeah. Well, so as far as Fantastic Four, which is one of my favorite
same
series.
Me too.
So
hey, there you go.
So by even making shut up, Siri. Even by making the Silver Surfer female in this first version, the part that frustrates me is that as a kid, I remember almost weeping when Alicia Masters found the humanity in the Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
And Ben Grimm was jealous that he had lost the woman he never had the guts to say that he loved because he felt he was inadequate and ugly.
Mm-hmm.
And as a kid, I never experienced anything like that in the comic books. Never. And that's what this movie needs. What a bunch of layers. I even remember it to this day. How am I remember like 1964 or 5 to now? Why is it so profound to me? So you've now lost that.
That 3-issue story, when I read it when I was a kid, was I said I will never see a movie as good as the story in this comic. It was mind-blowing and such a tragic character, the Thing. And we'll never see the Yancey Street Gang. We'll never see it in Marvel. So
I don't think they understand, or they refuse to want to have a love story between the Thing and Alicia. that was just a fantastic relationship.
Look at who they hire. No one has that. What you just said, that whole emotional attachment. I guarantee you, the people that failed laterally and upward have no such. Probably even read what you've read.
Oh, not at all. Not at all. They don't read comics at the MCU.
They don't even watch movies.
In fact, that's an advantage.
Exactly.
Someone said, you know, there's all these stories where, you know, please don't apply if you are a fan.
Chris, didn't you say they're
that's
changing
been an
that?
industry thing for a while? If you go into an office and they say, "Hey, are you a fan of this IP we have?" You say no. You just say you're a fan of great storytelling, and I'm willing to do the research.
That's exactly what you have to say.
Yeah, and if you need me to, I'll do the research. And then, you know, if you're smart, you do the research anyways, regardless if they need you to or not. And then you try and tell the best story you can. And when they say, "Wow, this is fantastic," it's like, "Yeah, thank you." You know, good storyteller. But you're not allowed to do that right now. And you have so many dumb writers who don't even know that lie.
Isn't that what Tony Gilroy did with Andor? Like he wasn't a huge Star Wars fan, right? He just wanted to write a good show.
But he did work on Rogue One.
Okay.
Yeah. He took it from Gareth Edwards and he did his own thing.
All right, let's get to soups. A lot of patient people have given super chats. Badger, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
I'm ready.
Come on, I'm here. Do it. I'm here. Kill me.
From the top here. And oh, by the way, Rob, I forgot you're going to be on our panel on Saturday.
Is it Saturday or Friday?
It's Saturday.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, I am. The independent filmmaking panel.
You got the email, right? You're whatever. It's on Saturday.
No, I didn't know because you'd said Friday before. So
no, it's Saturday.
Okay.
I'm
going to be on that panel.
All right, at Comic-Con. Let's go right here.
All right, Red French Moon for 2. Cool panel, and happy birthday, Rob.
Happy birthday, Rob.
Wow.
Viceroy of Verisimilitude. Brands 1967 for 60. Why can't they make romance? It's called untalented people getting hired because their friends got them into the industry via corrupt film festivals syndrome. Even Jar Jar Binks was better written.
Yep.
Drake Timbershaft for 10. Parent. I just don't feel comfortable with my kids seeing Leia in a metal bikini. Manny Jacinto. Hold my lightsaber. Yeah.
Literally hold it.
Film threat.
You mean hold my shaft?
Yeah.
What's it feel like to hold that in your hand again? For $1.
It feels so light.
So subtle.
You see Kevin Costner's rear in Dances with Wolves. It was important story.
Yeah, that was a good kids movie.
Greg E for 2. Smilo Rin's mask smile is the same as Abeloth. Yeah, it's definitely a very similar smile. Chris B for 5. Dante, your new cut has me expecting Film Threat to enter its defiant Dominion War era. Here's to your future far beyond the stars. Pale moonlights. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
I do like the gray spotting. It's very nice.
John Hogue for 499. If this story is not getting Yoda's attention, seems to me whatever he is dealing with would be a better show.
Yeah, are you telling me that Yoda is not feeling the deaths of these Jedi Masters?
Or the deception and the cover up?
And the one High Republic I read, he was on sabbatical. That's how they explain him not being there.
He's drinking a mojito somewhere.
Red French Moon for 5.
Or some green tit milk.
My issue is that they introduce stuff where you need to do homework to enjoy. Saber Whip, Cortosis. They should invite you into the lore, not impose it. Yeah, they should have said something. Nathan Cassidy for 499. In the old EU, there was a case of a Jedi using a light whip in the book Coruscant Knights 1. It's not the MC's primary weapon, but he was a Jedi.
Yeah.
So not the main character's primary weapon, but he's
How did we miss that?
I mean, that's why I didn't want to say for sure, because I think there was a case, but I think it was mostly Sith that used it. I mean, it's just not elegant.
Same with double-bladed lightsabers for going that route. Joey Bag of Donuts for 199. Send Badger and Script to the pit again. Hail! Oh no, this time it was Script against everyone else.
The pit of death.
2 men enter.
1 man leaves.
1 man leaves.
Frozen Bill Killer for 1999. Great to see Paul Chato here. I loved listening to the frantics on Dr. Demento when I was a kid regarding people in the Acolyte doing mundane things. Those parts remind me of a badly written slice of life anime. Yeah. Bishop's Opening became a member. Shout out. Jason Webster for 5. Coming soon from Disney Star Wars. OSHA's Room, directed by Tommy Wiseau.
See, that I would watch though.
For sure.
If you got Tommy Wiseau direct a Star Wars property, I'm in.
I'm here for it.
I'm in.
Great Deadpoolio for 2. Badger's favorite and only Latinx is here. Yes, that's true. Reggie Reg for 2. Luthen should have been the star of Andor.
Well, he kind of is.
Yeah.
Dyrus for 5. The whole conversation on ethics of war in Star Wars reminds me of West End Games Star Wars RPGs. It covered the ideas in the books. It's the foundation for the EU. Correct.
Wow.
Yeah, those old school RPG lore stuff. Project Egg Roll for 10. OSHA wants the lumpia.
Hey, egg roll. Egg roll.
Egg roll.
Alan, did I say a naughty word? Don't say it. It's okay if I did. Jason Webster for 10. PSA: the Disney apocalypse continues. Disney apocalypse, rather. For that, for your health and sanity, please refrain from visiting Disney theme parks and watching Disney films and series until further notice. Have a nice day. Disney apocalypse.
I mean, they own everything. They own the bear now too.
Right.
Yeah.
Joe Eager for 50. Leslie Headland.
You have to say 50.
Joe Eager for 50. Put my glasses on. Leslie Headland is pandering to the Vampire Diaries, Twilight, Buffy perverted teenage girl audience.
That's exactly what this feels like.
Although I have to say, the Vampire Diaries, better written show.
Son of a bitch. I knew you were going to defend one of those 3 things, and I was like, is it going to be Buffy?
I'm telling no. Oh, well, no, I'll defend Buffy all day.
We might summon Mauler.
Buffy was a damn good show.
Yeah.
I'll debate anybody on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
No, it is a good show. It just sadly corrupted a whole generation of writers to try and emulate that poorly across all other genres. That's true. Suffering from.
But they're not watching it, so I don't know.
I would even defend Twilight because at least I know what
Thank
Bella
you.
wanted. She wanted to bang Edgar or Robert Pattinson. Is that the name? I don't know.
Edward.
Team Edward.
Well, that was later. I mean, the thing about the Twilight movies is you had a hot dude who didn't want to get in your pants. That's why it was
he
the
was
ultimate
800 years old.
teen-
He looked at her like she was a child. I mean, of course.
Right, but you know, from appearances' sake, you know, the people that became the audience of those Twilight stories didn't see it that way.
Yeah, and the
Very
books,
generous.
he's bitten at 17, and your frame of mind stays at the age that you're bitten. So he's technically a 17-year-old frame of mind forever. Even if
Oh,
he's
is that
17. I didn't read the books.
The movies are
Film
better than
threat.
the books.
Rumble caveat ties for 1. Screen Rant is still in business because of pitch meetings.
I like
I love
pitch
that show.
meetings.
Pitch meetings is good.
Wow, wow, wow.
Wah wah wee wah. Snakes and Funerals for 5. According to Disney, the real villain is you, the viewer, and that's so true.
Yep.
Yeah. Richard Coleman for 20.
Yeah,
Hey
we
Chris,
have taste.
much respect to you and all. I know this is Star Wars, but I need a Star Trek series from RMB. Pull in young Metalis if you have to. He seems to know his onions. Oh, and Jacinto is the best thing in Acolyte.
Yeah.
Yep.
True. I'll agree.
Jackie. I like
agree with the first
Jackie
one.
until she
Terry's
got,
over on the Marvel side, though. Terry's
Yeah.
working. He's developing the new Vision
Yeah.
series, and he's writing the new Enemy Mine for 20th Century Studios.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Secret Hideout
that's
lost
him?
him. They could have
Mhm.
held on to him, but they didn't want to. So
They didn't want to
Yeah.
do. They had no interest in doing Legacy.
That's crazy.
That's insane. That's insane to me.
Believe in yourself for 20,000 something. Was it Martian pesos? Empire was the best, laying this on the table.
It's 20,000 D's.
These nuts. Ministry of Wrongthink for 199. RT just removed the audience score. We saw that.
I
However,
wonder if
He
it's
removed
a,
it from everything.
yeah.
it's got to be a glitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be.
And you also said the certified was removed from several different things. So.
Certified removed from everything,
From
along with all the audience scores. Yes.
Gold Spacer for 10. You can see the audience score for the Acolyte Season 1 if you click into Season 1. It's just broken for the top level page.
Oh, okay.
I mean, regardless, it's not even in the top 10 streaming charts. So I think that's probably the most.
Yeah, they can't
condemning.
cope that away. You're right. They can't take that.
They can.
Can't take that from us. Mattuine for 5. The witches tried to warn us. It was the power of
The power of one.
the power of Manny. The power of Manny.
Oh, that's what I meant by Manny.
Yeah.
That's correct. They're talking about Manny Jacinto.
Yeah. Ministry of Wrongthink for $9.99. Maybe we got it wrong. Maybe they were saying the power of Manning, and Eli and Peyton will reveal themselves as the witches'
Power of two
pimps,
there.
revealing they're all straight and streetwalkers.
Oh my God.
Put my Force Witch on the corner. Zian Hu for
John Woo.
$7.49. That's a very specific amount. It would have been interesting to see the Jedi from a different perspective without changing the Jedi.
Bingo.
Or you just have
George.
one super corrupt Jedi and all the
just
other
one.
Jedi recognize
George,
it.
I'll go to my grave and say George screwed up the Jedi, because it started off in the first 3 movies as kind of a disconnected group of people that were very monk-like, let's say,
Right.
Zen-like, and then they became a condo board. Like, what? Now they're all wearing dry cleaned outfits. They got a nice place. They got a windows overseeing stuff, and it was all very circumspect and rules. And I went, what? Okay, I'm completely out. So I'd say George fucked that up, and then they've just.
I agree with that, actually.
I'm just waiting for Badger to come back at you as hard as he did with me last week.
I can't do that now because I have to read super chats. But yes, I would totally fight with Paul about that. But I have a fiduciary responsibility to the super chatters. We all have opinions. It's fine. Kevin W. Clark for 5. Anyone see that Davies of Doctor Who might have taken inspiration from Last Jedi for unsatisfying payoffs? I can't believe this is the same writer.
Oh, I can.
Graph Web for 2. For the love of God, for fuck's sake, hashtag cancel Disney Plus. There you go. He got mad when I didn't sing it last time. Stubble McShave for 50. Rob, I'm impressed by the actors you've made public for the audio drama. The story is good. I read the book. Looking forward to hearing your version.
Yes, I think everybody will. I'm for those of you who don't know, I've been producing a 7-hour, 10-episode audio drama based on Max Allan Collins' Nathan Heller novels. We're adapting the first book, True Detective, into a story, and our cast is pretty A-list. And we're going to be doing a big panel at Comic-Con.
When is the panel?
When's the panel?
It's Thursday at 5:30. And I can say, like, Anthony LaPaglia is on the panel. He plays Al Capone. We have a pretty great cast. Katie Sackhoff is in it.
Nice.
Bill Sadler is in it. Vincent Pastore, Big Pussy Bumpin' Sarah from The Sopranos, is in it. So it's quite Jesse Spencer, who plays the Australian doctor on House and was also in Chicago Fire. He plays Elliot Ness. So there's a lot of
him.
there's a lot of people. It's really, and I'll say this: Max Allan Collins knocked it out of the park with his script.
When will you have like something to share, like a trailer or something?
Well, we're gonna launch. So we've been producing it for the last couple months, and we're launching a Kickstarter basically to buy it. But we're still putting it all together. I mean, it's amazing because I didn't realize the enormity, because I'm editing all the I'm directing it, producing it, and I'm also editing all the performances. And we're approaching it as if it's a movie or a TV series. So it's not an audiobook. It's not a podcast. It is a full-blown, it's like destination television or an epic. It's mixed like a film. So it's a dramatic experience. It's just that it's audio only, but it'll feel like you're listening to a movie instead of an audio drama.
I love that. Like the Star Wars radio dramas were amazing. And also a plug for a show called Blockbuster. Have you heard of this? It's like an audio documentary dramatized with a young George Lucas and Steven Spielberg. One's making Jaws, the other one is making Star Wars. And it's like how their careers just intersected and they got these movies made. It's so good.
Wow.
Look up Blockbuster. You'll be blown away. They got 2 actors to sound like Spielberg and Lucas. John Williams is a character in it.
Wow.
It's all based on facts, but it's dramatized. So really good.
And what time is your panel again on Thursday?
It's at 5:30.
5:30.
Okay.
Yeah. Put it in our schedule.
Yes.
I'm really excited with how this is coming out. I just delivered Anthony's entire performance to our sound designers. It's been really interesting. Katie Sackhoff will break your heart in it. So it's been a lot of fun to do. It's the biggest project I've been involved in a long time.
Here you go, Badger.
Suspense Smith for 2. Worst is Iger going to brag about Deadpool forever?
Yes.
It'll be a hit.
Spin Smith for another 2. Disney's full of vegan butchers. Knee pain for 5. Chris, should you dress up for Halloween as Amandla Stenberg in her response music video?
Yeah.
Or you should
If
dress
I
up.
have
Yeah.
to, Knee Pain.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, Knee Pain, you are welcome to join us. We've had a quick email exchange. Hit me up if you would like to join us here.
Dragon Watch for 199. Hail the Angry Badger. Hail Film Threat.
Nice, thank you.
And Richard Coleman for 10. They had no interest in doing Legacy, meaning they didn't want to do real Star Trek. Sorry, I'm still salty.
This Halloween, I'm dressing up as Chris stroke victim.
Exactly. Yeah. Get
Rumble
a
Wham.
shirt to be authentic. And last one here.
One more. I love me some noir. Noir.
From Rumble Caveat Tie Sport. All right.
So Rumble.
I want to say thank you to all the panelists. Links to their channels are in the description. So follow all of them if you are not doing that already. I do.
Oh,
So,
I just
there you go.
6,000. Thanks, guys.
6,000
subs. Yes, thank you.
Congrats.
Shout out.
Nice.
All right. Thank you.
All right. And we're trying to get Dante monetized here.
Yeah, but it's nothing anyone can do. YouTube has to, quit messing around and just, go ahead and monetize me, man.
Yeah, stop suppressing minority voices.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. See?
We know the real reason.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Alan and I will be back with Hollywood on the Rocks on Wednesday and the Film Threat Livecast on Friday. We are reviewing a bunch of movies Friday that no one cares about.
And I don't know how you keep it up, honestly. It's
I'm going to the movie tonight. I'm going to see Longlegs. And
Oh
then
man, I can't wait to see that.
I don't have a +1, or I'd ask you along. So I just have one ticket.
It's
I'm
too
seeing a
far.
movie every night this week.
Wow.
That's wild, man.
It's screener links. So
Thank
same
you.
thing with Alan. He sees different movies though. He's
The
not
non-horror ones. Yes.
the non-horror ones, because as you say, Alan, so succinctly, I think you need to say it.
Yes, horror scares the living poop out of me.
Well, there you go.
9.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Alan.
So, yeah, long legs, no. Hard no.
And finally, a thanks to our mods, Lord Thoth, Latino Slant, and Mexican Iron Man. And
The Sundowners Club member for 1 month did verbal work for Prince in the late 90s.
Yeah, that's a long story, but yeah.
Interesting.
I was part of the security detail.
Oh,
you have to tell it on your channel.
Yeah, I
Oh,
will.
the
Eventually, I'm
story.
going to tell that story. It was a weird time. It was during that time where he had changed his name to the symbol. So
Oh.
he was really weird during that time.
Formerly known as
But
Prince.
I have stories to tell though.
Which the story behind that is he wanted to mess with the legal department at WB.
Yeah, but he was
Right?
going through some stuff. That's the problem, is that he was battling his record label, which made him even weirder for some reason. And
More paranoid.
and look, talented guy. The guy is a missed presence in music. I got the honor of watching him perform several times at his club in downtown LA back in the day, because that's where I worked with him. And
Glam Slam,
yeah, a huge club. And but no, I worked with him for a short time, 2 years.
The wildest thing was when he was, I believe, married or with his girlfriend from Toronto and living in Toronto. And I'd walk by a jazz club and there he was. Then you go in and it's half full and he goes on stage and jams.
Yeah, he would always just kind of like perform at these random little places for some reason.
That was Prince. Prince is doing jazz. Like,
because he could.
He could.
And as you have said, Dante, he was so tiny, he fit in your pocket, basically.
Oh, he was. So I will say this. It's not really a story. It's just kind of a funny little detail about him. So we're all there. We were called his six, right? We were his six guys. And the weird thing about Prince was, like, we weren't able to look him in the eye. So whenever we talked to him, we'd have to like look anywhere else but in his line of sight. And he's like 4'11", like, without heels on. So I mean,
and hair.
Yes,
So
a lot
if
of
you had
hair.
to look at him in the eye, you'd have to crouch down.
Well, no, we weren't allowed to look at him in the eye. That's the thing. You get fired for that.
That was the okay.
Yeah, he didn't want you to look him in the eye.
You just look straight ahead. You'd be
Well,
down
no,
there.
we look down or to the side, whatever. But it was weird.
What an amazing talent, though.
All right, final words, everyone. What do you want to say before we sign off?
I love everybody here.
Yeah,
I do as well.
Fred. It's a great channel and it's a great magazine.
Thank you for spread
Had a
the
great
love.
time.
I can't wait for a franchise for a funeral. Or a funeral for a franchise.
Well, that's
Yeah.
coming. That's coming Wednesday, July 17th. Our show, the funeral. All of you will be here in some form. Hop on for like 5 minutes. You can bail. Just come and say hi. You want to go to shop.filmthreat.com. Use discount code Star Wars is Dead for 15% off the t-shirt I'm wearing now.
And make sure you tag Disney in this.
Exactly. Yeah. X-Ray Girl is wearing the shirt in the picture on the website.
It's the day before my son and I head off to see Mexican Iron Man in South Carolina in our
Nice.
van. Perfect.
Nice. All right, Alan. What's next?
What's next? Let's get out of here. Is that what you want me to say?